Hey everyone, we're here with the Empress. So this is from the Cosmic Tarot, and this is not, I'm going to say not, it has traditional elements, but the actual depiction is not super duper traditional. I really like this deck, and I also like, she doesn't have it, but a lot of people have like rays shooting out their eyes, like the Hierophant. It's so awesome. I love the Hierophant in this deck. But the Empress, so I just pick it. When I pick these out, I kind of grab stuff that I haven't used already, which we're only on like card 3, so it's not hard at this point. But to get a variety of different decks so you can see how things vary, you know, when you're looking at other decks within your collection or ones you're looking at, how the variations play out. So she is associated with Venus, mother of all creativity, fertility, abundance. Opening the door of life was something that, as I was going through this, rolled through my little brain. The opening the door of life. And that, I don't mean just like literal birth, but also creative birth of creating things. And that could be dinner. Be very broad in your definition of creativity. Do not just scrunch it down into the creative arts, whether they're visual, performing, written, whatever. Keep creativity within your life extremely broad. It's much more expansive. It's much more fulfilling. And I see her as that kind of broad creativity. Living the life, good life. Living your life is the way you want it and in a pleasing manner to you, the best way you can. That's a very Empress trait. So she's opening that door of life to nurturing, creativity, Earth Mother. Holly Simple called her the caring card. That also stuck out with me. Open, love, birth of the world. These are all things that have come into play with her. She's often seen as that. Once again, I was talking how you have like the Virgin and the Mother and blah, blah. She's the mother aspect. She's the one that got to have sex. And the poor High Priestess, you know, just has to stay virginal. But, you know, she gets, you know, has sex, gets pregnant. Kind of to that, you know, what does the role of a woman have? And is it really based on her ovaries and her reproduction? Not so much. So when we go into this whole Empress Mother thing, take it very broadly. And not everyone had a good mother. So some people don't have a good basis to base what this nurturing is. And, you know, that's also like her on the bad day. She's the sow that eats her little piglets. She's that kind of mother. She's cruel, she's callous, she's refuses to nurture, abusive. So she also has that role that comes in when she's not doing good. So you can have that aspect of the dark show up within her. Depending on how the reading's going and what's around her. I don't particularly do reverse cards unless there's a ton that I like look at and go, there's like a lot of reverse cards, and make a little note of them. But really, I don't tell my clients because people tend to freak out. Oh my God, the card's reversed. The Tower is reversed. I'm gonna die. Yeah, I never have read reversals since 1988. So I just don't do them. You can do them if you want. They work for you, awesome. They don't particularly work for me, and I see people freak out too much about them. What I do is what's around it, what's surrounding you. So if I had Empress with, like, say, Knight of Swords and maybe the Devil or something like that, I would be like, what's going on with this kind of nurture creativity thing? It's being dampened. And are we refusing it? Is it because we don't know what to do with someone who nurtures? We don't understand how to bring that out in ourselves. Yeah, so for me, it really depends more on what's around things. So that's how I'm going to go. Like, is she the good, happy thing? Or is she the mean one? And if you're getting the mean one, I'm going to make suggestions about, like, how to get to the good one. And Yeah. She's an interesting card. And I think she kind of doesn't get the power that she really does have. Does that make sense? It's yeah, she's that mother character. She's there's a lot of power that can come from engaging with her in a positive way, in a creative way. And yes, I have had her turn up as a potential in clients' reading for a pregnancy. She meant a lot of other things, but once or twice, I've been like, yeah, just kind of make sure you're watching the birth control if you don't want to have a kid. So every once in a while, she has shown up very much as a literal potential of pregnancy. And that's a potentiality, not a prediction. So don't think it was like, oh, I'll get pregnant. It's a potential that you can easily change. So symbols, pregnancy. She's often portrayed as pregnant. Crown, she kind of has a fancy crown hat. Yeah, it depends on, era. But crown, Venus symbol, swans, rivers, seeds, corn, and by one thing you have to remember, Americans, corn, because what is called maize in other places, we call corn here in the U.S. Corn historically meant the predominant grain. So maize becoming corn, just corn in the U.S. tells you how prominent corn was back in the day, because there was corn. But also wheat. So this one has berries, a bird, mountains, little star earring, crown-like fancy cap, and she's poppies also. You'll see sometimes with that, with her poppies. Depends on the deck. So, and one thing too, poppies often grow wheat fields. So this one has wheat right down there, and she's got a little earth. Got this really awesome kind of, I don't know if they based it. It looks more poly to me. Subcontinent necklace. I like the star earring. Her little fancy cap. There's some other berries in there. It is pretty much anything that you can associate with fertility, and corn, wheat especially, tends to be associated with fertility in general. So, yeah. A lot of people don't relate to her because they don't feel the mother in themselves. And yeah, that's fine. Not everyone's going to have the same instinct. But I would also, like, if you're telling yourself that story, really look at how you nurture, how you sustain friendships, how you work in relationships, things like that. Where do you tend to give? And look at that kind of thing and see what it has, where it's going. Because that kind of giving, nurturing aspect is probably there. You're just not seeing it in context of the Empress, which is fine. I was a 15-year-old, and I didn't, that whole maiden mother crown thing, which is like a whole nother story, but I didn't relate to the maiden. I was 15. We did not have like a cranky old lady. We had a cranky teenager, and that cranky teenager was me. Very much crown energy even at 15. But at the same time, I was like, here, have a cookie. If you ain't, here, let me feed you something. Thing that also went on. And that is very much an Empress energy. It's like, oh, here, have a cookie. I got some cake. Would you like some cake and tea? And that was me through my early 20s with my friends. I'm like, here, have a cookie. I made cookies today. Have a cookie. Which is a very nurturing Empress kind of trying to feed people concept. But at the same time, I more strongly still at that point, and still do, relate to the kind of darker aspects of goddess, whether it's the crone energy or whatever. Those darker aspects, kind of the high priestess more than the Empress. Does that make sense? Well, I'm going to leave it at there, even if it doesn't. So go out there, have a wonderful day, and be the love in the world, because God knows we need it. Bye-bye, everyone.